a soft dick in the bath. That's, you hear new sentences every week. That's great. There's new ones, you never know. So clap if you have crazy family members. Just like, it's most of us, yeah. I know, yeah. Which, by the way, if you didn't clap, just bad news, you're the crazy family member. That's, you know. But what, I'm always, like, why do we put up with crazy family members? I don't know, like, I get they're your blood, I guess, but like, if you had a friend who was on drugs all the time, stole shit, and you had to bail out of jail all the time, you wouldn't be friends very long. But if it's your family, you're just like, well, that's grandma. It's just, I don't know how she keeps getting out of the home, but you know, let's go. But I mean, I know I have crazy family and weird family because I have several aunts and uncles that are like significantly younger than me. Which, if you don't understand why that's so weird, ask your friend later. It's just it's a very Virginia problem to have. It's a very Southern problem. But I have an uncle who is really into like building his own guns, like making them, like he orders parts and shit and puts them together himself, and machining and all this stuff, like guns that you're not sure whether they're going to shoot straight or like blow half your face off, that kind of thing. And he thought it would be a great idea on my 13th birthday to give me and my brother both one of these guns without talking to my parents. And so that went over well because my mom is so into guns and stuff. But you know, I knew my family was crazy at a very young age, because around the holidays and stuff, anytime we would go to a family gathering, we would pull up outside, and I brought my mother and father and my younger brother and me in the car, and we'd pull up to the house, and my parents would just sit there for a minute. We wouldn't get out, and they would just be staring at the house. And my father would pull out a flask and take a shot and hand it to my mother and lean over and go, "We could just leave right now and change our numbers." And my mother would go, "I'll think about it." And we would go inside, and you spend, several hours of just unadulterated insanity and everything. And you come back out, and we would get back in the car, and again, quiet. And then my parents would turn back to me and my brother and go, "Neither one of you repeat anything you fucking heard in that house at all, especially from your grandfather. He's old. He's not going to be around much longer. Just don't fucking." But like, you go to these family gatherings, and like, hey, you have to, bullshit fucking conversations, everything, where you have to give lie answers. Like, don't you wish you could just be honest for once with your family members when they ask, like, "Oh, we haven't seen you in forever. Where have you been?" It's like, well, one, have you met you? And two, probably my number one thing my therapist tells me is I need to spend less time around y'all. And so I'm just trying to do, what's best for me. And then, or the, why haven't you had kids yet? And it's like, look at me. Like, I'm not the type that should be like influencing the youth of any generation at all. But that's my time. I'll cut it here so I don't go over. And let's give it up next one for Tate Myers.